Hi everyone, welcome back to Tara's Take. It's Mass Monday and I wanted to sit down and do some book page journal cards, and I decided instead of using my cardstock I usually use, I'm going to use this coffee dyed handmade paper. I got this out of journals I bought at, what's it called? Barnes & Noble, actually, and it's just got a really cool feel to it, and it's really fun to write on, and so I thought that it would be kind of fun. And so I brought along a few things to decorate the front of the book page. I've got some of my kit, the cards from my new kit, Floral Beauty, and I have a few smaller ones, and I don't know what I'll use today, but I also have some of these gorgeous papers that were gifted to me, and I thought these would be really pretty on the front, and even these, actually, all of them. These were gifted from Vanessa, so I'll just probably use some of these, okay? So put these aside. So what you'll need today for this mess make is a ruler, a tearing ruler if you want to use a ruler, or your scissors to cut with, of course. You can just cut the edges of the paper. And then you'll need something to decorate the front with. Like I've used these. You could also use, you could use anything. I just have digitals and these scrapbook papers, so I thought they'd be fun. But you'll need some book page, and I brought a few different sizes and different types. And then you'll need a backer, and you don't have to use a firm backer. You can make your card a little bit thinner if you wanted and use a thinner paper. I may use just some coffee dyed paper on a couple of them. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of these. Let's see, which one do I want to use? These are so beautiful. I'm kind of hoarding these, Vanessa, because I want to make sure and I use them right, you know. I want to make sure that there is book page on the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this. And I'm not measuring anything, you know how I am about that. But you, of course, can if you'd like. I'm just going about an inch outside of the size of the card I'm going to use, or the piece of scrapbook paper I'm going to use. And then that way I have, or it's, I guess more like about a ½ inch I'm doing in here. And that works out with this size of paper because it's almost to a T, just tearing off those white edges. Okay. And then I'll throw this piece in my scrap box and these in my little strip scraps. And yeah. Actually, I should say my scrap bag, because it's a bag. It's not really a box. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of, let's see, let me grab my inks. So as you guys can hear, yes, I am still sick. It's Thursday of last week, but I really wanted to get a video out and get ready for the new year, and I had promised you that I would be doing videos, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take some cold medicine, which is what I did, and told Courtney I'm going to make a video. I'm going to attempt to make a video. He was laughing because he knows how sick I am. I actually am really sick, you guys. I woke up with no voice whatsoever almost, and the cold medicine has kind of kicked me back into gear a little bit, but my I've been sneezing all day and blowing my nose and coughing, and my chest hurts, you know, and just the whole bit. But it's a cold. It's definitely a cold because I have no fever, praise God. So I haven't been to a doctor, in case anybody's wondering. No, I have not gone to a doctor. I do that as a very last resort. Okay, so that's going to be the front, okay, of my card. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. It just like kind of speaks for itself, just that piece. You don't even really need much more. Let's see, I already had cut a piece of this. Now this paper, because it is handmade, it does not really like to tear. And actually, I'm not going to have to take much because I want some of well, do I want that? Yeah, I want some of this to stick out over the edge. So I'm framing this, okay? So I'm really going to only have to tear this at about there. So just shy of that. Let's see how it does. I know when I've tried it, well, it's not being too argumentative, but it's definitely always going to have, if it's handmade paper. And I guess that's really kind of cool, so I'm not going to worry about it. It's got like pieces, you know, that kind of hang down, but like I said, that's actually kind of cool. So, and I may do a little stamping on the back of these. You could do some stenciling, just to kind of, you know, around the edges, or give it, you know, maybe a flower in the corner, you know, something like that. Let's see, do I want this on the darker side? Because that looks nice too. And then I could have this as the back. I think I might do that. This one is, like I said, these have been coffee dyed, but the paper itself, when I bought it, was kind of a beige color anyway. As you can see, it's a darker color by itself. And so you may have seen those books before at Barnes & Noble. They used to be like $10, and I used to buy them all the time and journal in them and stuff. I even wrote stories in them and stuff. You know, I just loved writing in them. I thought they were so fun. So because this paper is book page and it's just perfect for glue stick, I'm going to go ahead and grab a glue stick here. And let's see, I'm going to get me a piece of paper because I don't want to, even though this is torn up, I'd just rather use something that I can move out of my way. I don't want everything sticking, you know. I'll do the Gail trick. I learned the book thing from Gail. I know a lot of people probably do it, but that's where I saw it the first time. Okay. All right, so just move that over here. I have been playing a little bit this week, or trying to. I did do a gel plate video a couple days ago, and that'll be going up on Wednesday of this week for you guys. And I'm talking probably a little bit better in that one than I am today because I've gotten sicker as the week has gone on. I thought that I would not be too sick for Mass Monday. I thought it was going to go away, but it hasn't gone away. So it's just gotten a little bit worse. I've only been sick since I started feeling a tickle on Sunday. Maybe Saturday night a little bit, but I wasn't certain. And then on Sunday, I could feel that it was definitely there. So I've only technically been sick for like 4 days. So it'll pass. Probably by the weekend, I'll be feeling better. I don't get sick very often because of my autoimmune. Oh, I love that. That is so cute. So these are going to be some journal cards I put into a journal. I just think that's adorbs. Okay, I just said adorbs. You can tell I don't feel good, right? Let me see. Oh, and I organized my, we're going to use this corner. Oh, it's got paint on it. I've been playing with it and doing stuff with it. I organized all of my stamps into a bucket, and then I'll have to show you guys probably on another video, but oh my goodness, I went in and we're just going to use some brown here. I went in to my Mass Make box. I'm just going to do like the corner because I just want a little tiny hint. And I went into my Mass Make box and I decided, oh, you know, I'm gonna, oh darn it, I missed just a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. So that's what I was talking about. You can stamp the back of them. Just gives it a little flair. It's not any big deal, but it adds that special little touch, I think. I like to do it. I like to do that on my journal cards. Anyway, I organized I bought another basket to organize my Mass Make stuff. And you guys, I still, in the original box that I had everything in, it's still so full that I can't hardly stuff things in, even though I have dumped out a literal big old basket. I mean, it's ridiculous how much stuff I have. It's so funny. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to make journals and get some stuff out of here. So there's one. I'll use a different piece of paper this time, and maybe one of these. And I'm not gonna really, no, that one's not good enough. Let's see. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I forgot. I want to grab one that's got verbiage out, but that's not quite big enough either for that piece. I don't want to tear any of that piece up. You know what I mean? Oh, I do have these lovely music sheets. That would be pretty. So we can just, yeah, there we go. So we're going to tear, I think I'll go ahead and tear this one at about right here. But yeah, I tried to organize my box, and it was kind of comical because of how much there is. Courtney was laughing. He's like, wow, that's a lot. And I said, I know. So the reason I said I'll show you guys later is because, on another video, is because I'll have to bring it or move the camera over there or something for you to see it, because it's pretty funny. I think some of you who've been with me long enough, you'll want to see it just to laugh at me, because I have so much stuff. And it made me laugh too, because Sonia had asked me one time, she's one of our friends here, our family members on the channel. She had asked me when we first started, she's like, you're going to have so much stuff. Do you remember saying that, Sonia? And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Well, you were more than right. I know I've mentioned that before, but you were so right about that. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I'm going to tear a little bit more off. So this is going to be kind of a big journal card, but I really don't want to get rid of any of this paper. I absolutely love the whole piece. And it's okay if I have a large journal card, right? Because sometimes I have really big journals, and, you know, it's still, let's see, what's the width here? Let me see. 5.5. So that's almost the width of a regular journal. So this will have to go, unless I just bring it over a little bit more and tear like a 1/2 inch off the side, which I can probably manage. I just really don't want to lose any of that paper. I might have to use the smaller pieces. Let's see. So that would be 5.25, still, or 5 1/8. I don't want to lose the trebles, is why I didn't want to cover them. I kind of wanted them to stand out. I don't know, just a little bit more. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, so Sonia, you were right. I have a ton of mass makes. There. That's funny. The only reason that was able to tear the way it did was because it's a thin, old, antique paper. So I'm going to go ahead and distress the edges of this music paper. Now I'm wondering if this is even going to fit. Oh, you know what? It's too wide for that. I might have to bring in these smaller ones. Listen to my nose. I apologize. That sounds so awful. I do have these too from my kit, which are pretty nice as well. Yeah, let's do that. Let's tear this down and do that. We'll make smaller ones. That's a little radical. It's a little too big. I'll just use these strips of music paper for something else. It'll be fine. Anyway. Yeah, so I did get organized somewhat on some stuff, which was nice. And then I got sick, so I've been kind of lazy. I have been playing, though, and trying to... I'm going to just go ahead and distress this. I've been playing and trying to get, you know, a few things started and made, and just getting some ideas for the new year. When I'm sick, I have discovered I don't get sick very often. As you guys know, you've been with me for, what, almost 2 years. It'll be a year. It's a year and a half we've been doing this together. And the ones of you who've been with me a while, you know I don't get sick very often, obviously. Not with colds and stuff. I have other issues. But yeah, so I'm kind of hem-hawing. I apologize. I can tell I'm tired. I don't feel good. But yeah, so I was trying to get ideas, and I'm like, you know what? I have no creativity when I'm sick. None whatsoever. Not really. I did come up with, we're going to do some play with inks and some paints and make some pretty vintage book page, just decorate. I did some. Let me show. It's right here. That's the only reason I'm pulling them. And I thought these would be fun to do with you guys. They were fun to do when I did by myself. So we've got some of that, just some old book pages, and I really just used the same stamp over and over. I love that swirl stamp, and I was just fiddling and seeing if it was a fun idea. So I've used paints, I used acrylic inks and watercolor inks, and stamping and acrylic paint. So yeah, I'm gonna pause for just a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to blow my nose. Sorry. It's like, okay, you gotta blow your nose. You can't breathe. Anyway, so let's put these out of the way because I'm just gonna make a mess. Put some of this in the scrap bag, and the other strips in my little. I have a tote that I keep them in. Okay, so now we'll grab another piece of this. I just thought this would be kind of fun to use this time because I always use that cardstock paper, which is, I love, I love it for my journal cards. But I thought that this would be a little bit more fun. So I think I'm going to do, just so you guys are aware, I think I'm going to do a major markdown on my junk journals in my shop. I know I have them marked kind of high. And people just, junk journals right now are not on everybody's list of things to buy because it's been it's getting harder and harder because of our economy. And I understand that. And so I need to get rid of them. And I really don't have a lot of people to just give gifts to. Because I was like, okay, I could give them to people at church, I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. But I don't really know people there enough yet to, I don't know, to feel comfortable being like, oh, here, I made you a junk journal. They're like, what's a junk journal? And then I have to explain it, and you know what I'm saying. So I thought, well, you know what, maybe I'll just mark them down and see and let you guys know, and maybe you can spread the word. And I do have something kind of cool that's been happening lately that I haven't mentioned. My Facebook page, not my group, not our group, but my Facebook page has, I don't know how or what's going on or why it's happening, but praise the Lord. I've been having a whole bunch of followers on there, and I'm upwards to almost 600 people now. I'm like, wow. And it was weird because it was so dead for so long. I didn't even really use it. And I was kind of just letting it sit there, and I'd once in a while post stuff, and then I realized, wait a minute, I started getting all these notifications. I don't know if one of my videos went, not viral, but went out and kind of got popular, or what it was that drew people, but yeah, so I'll probably post the sale on there. It's not even going to be a sale. I'm going to do a permanent markdown, because I know, I've told you guys before, Courtney, he gets really... Don't mark him down. You work so hard. Blah, blah, blah. He's my husband, and he wants me to, price him in a way that he feels like I deserve. And I've sold a lot of my journals through the last 2 years. But this past, say, 6 months or so, it's just slowed down to nothing. And I'm like, okay, people just can't afford what you're pricing these at. And so it's time to make a change. So that's what I'm going to do. So these two are, wow, look at those. Look at those pictures. I mean, oof. We'll just do one with both because I can't decide which one I love the most. They're so pretty. They're all so pretty. Ugh. So we're going to grab, I liked this paper. What was that first paper I used? Is it this one? Did this one go? Or I think this one's too narrow, actually, for any of them. Yeah, it is. It's too narrow. This is the way the Newcombs, this is a book that I bought last year, and it's really old. It's in the 1800s. But that's how they had it printed. I think it was this one I used. That's just a dictionary page. And, yeah, this is, it's funny how it looks to me. I mean, it just, I don't know. Seems kind of really narrow. Okay, so I'm going to do what I did before and use that as my guide. So since it's Mass Monday, let's see, I've got all kinds of stuff to talk about. I can tell you about what happened at Christmas. So, okay, so I had been planning to see my daughter and my son, if you remember. They were going to come. Well, my son got so sick, you guys, and he could not come to the house. He couldn't leave his house. He was really sick. He even went to the hospital. He is better now. It turned out, and I can't tell you what it turned out to be because that would be mean of Mommy to share with you, but let's put it this way. He was sick because of something that made me giggle. Okay, so just know he's fine. But anyway, when I found out what was actually wrong, I just laughed and laughed and laughed. And I was like, are you serious? We both laughed. Anyway, but he was sick as a dog the day I went to pick him up. And so I got Maria and Devin, which is her fiance. And we came home. And, okay, let me tell you from the beginning of the day, or the weekend, because I was so exhausted, you guys, that I had to take last week off, and I got sick. As you can see, I think I hadn't thought about it, but that's probably why I got a cold. I think my immune system was down because I about wore myself out. Here was my 4-day weekend, okay, from Friday, on through to Christmas. So, okay, on Friday, Courtney, it was raining here in the valley in Phoenix. I live in Phoenix where it hardly ever rains, but when it does, it's a desert, so it really pours. Well, so we got a really big downpour up from Mexico. And so, let me see, I'm going to grab my book. We got this huge downpour, right? So he got sent home because all of them did, because they just couldn't do their job because they work outside, And so he's like, well, do you want to, because I usually do my errands on Saturday, I go do my laundry and I do my shopping and all that stuff. And so he's like, well, do you want to do everything today and then tomorrow? Because he had found out that if it didn't rain on Saturday, they would let him work. So I said, yeah, I could do that. So Friday, I went and I did the laundry. And then while I was doing laundry, I went and did my shopping, right? Well, I got a text from our children's ministry leader. She's like, oh, we need to stuff the bags. Remember all the gifts we were going to give the kids? So she's like, we're having a huge party there on Sunday. She's like, can people come and help us? We're going to stuff these gift bags. And I was like, I told Courtney, well, if I get done at the store in time, I'll go and help Crystal. So I did. I got done. So I got finished at the store. I got back. Courtney picked up the laundry for me, bless his heart. And I went ahead and I drove to Casa Grande. And after I shopped for like all morning, okay, I did grocery shopping and did my last Christmas shopping and stuff like that, right? So I went to the church in the afternoon and we stuffed bags for hours. And then I had such a good time talking to her sons and just hanging out with the kids while we stuffed these bags for the little kids. And then I went to the store again because I still needed a couple of things that we didn't have at our Walmart here in Coolidge. That's what I was talking about. I can't just tear that. Let's try it this way. You guys always tell me to do this and I never remember. Probably won't work because, see, I don't think so. We're going to cut it. Anyway, so did that, and then I got home, and oh my gosh, I didn't get to bed until, I don't know, it was late. So Courtney had to work the next day. He did get to work because the rain stopped. See, that's not going to look right because this edge is sharp. Let's see if I can get this piece to look better. Um, and I'm being picky, but I want to make sure that it looks good. So anyway, so that was Friday. And then Saturday, Courtney worked. Oh, shoot. And so I stayed home and I baked a pie, and then I baked 3 different kinds of cookies, and I baked them all at the same time. So like I had 3 bowls on the counter, and I did everything. Oh man, it's gonna be just, look at that, where it's torn. Let's see if I can make it work. I don't know. We'll see. So I baked all morning, and then I did videos in the afternoon. So that was Saturday. So I was worn out, tired, and I had to teach on Sunday in the class. Well, not teach, because we were doing the presents and stuff with the little ones, and so it'll be okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. So we did presents and stuff with the little ones, right? So, oh my goodness, you guys. The first service was the only service I could do because I had to drive into town and pick up my kids on Sunday, right? So our service at the 9 o'clock service was, it was over 100 children. I'm not sure how many, but I know it went to like 110, I think, something like that. That was our first, and we had kids from 5 all the way up to 5th grade. So it was kindergarten through 5th grade. They're not usually in the same room, right? And so that was, oh, I didn't do the, oh well, it's okay. And that was like amazing because it was totally the Lord just controlled everything. Because our big thing was we were worried they were going to touch the gifts or they were going to touch the stuff on the stage, the platform. Nobody misbehaved. It was absolutely phenomenal and miraculous, I'll be honest, to have over 100 kids between the ages of 5 and like 11, okay? And nobody touched anything. And I mean, that is not normal. So I was like, yeah, the Lord is controlling everything right now because there's no way this would have worked. And so we had this huge, massive service and handed out gifts to all those kids. So there was a bunch of running back and forth from room to room because we had the presents for certain ages in that room, and then we had the other presents for the younger kids in my classroom where I teach. And so that's down the hallway. So there was a bunch of us. It was a crazy morning. And then after I was done there, I went and said bye to all my friends. I didn't stamp those other ones, did I? I went and said bye to all my friends, and then I took off to drive into town. And driving into town is about, okay, my kids, they live about 80 miles, okay, from where I was at. And so I drove and I went to Target because I had a Target card. I think I mentioned to you guys that I got what I got. I got some paints and I showed, maybe I didn't show you yet. I don't remember. Anyway, I got these. I think I showed you in Wednesday's video. I got these paints. And then I got a desk, a holder for my computer, stuff like that. So it was a great time. I went and shopped by myself. And then, because I couldn't pick up my son until later, and Courtney had given me that Target card, so I went and got that done. And so I went and picked up my daughter and was really happy to see her. And then I went and and then we went over to Joey's and hung out with him for a while we waited. Let's see which one was on there. Let's see. While we waited, because his boss was supposed to come and he was going to try and go with us. Well, he got so sick. He's like, Mama, and it was such a precious time with him. Maria and her fiance went outside and let us have some, time alone. And he was so upset that he couldn't come over, but he's like, I can't do it, Mom. I'm really sick. And, my mama's heart was just going out to him, but I went ahead and left. He's a big boy. He's 34 years old, so I'm not going to baby him. And I said, okay, son. So we decided that I would bring, if he was feeling better the next day, I would bring his gifts and I would come over in the evening the next day on Christmas Day. Okay. So then I drove all the way back home, another 80 some miles, got home. We went to our family always has this tradition, okay? And what we do, what time is it? Okay. What we do is on Christmas Eve, we always get, everybody gets the kind, whatever fast food they want, okay? That's our dinner on Christmas Eve. And we have a whole tradition, this whole thing. Like, we open our gifts at 7 o'clock. It's something I did as a little girl. It was our thing with my mom and dad. And then when my first husband and I were together, he didn't really have any family traditions. So he was, like, totally okay with doing my stuff, you know. And so with our kids, we just did the same thing I grew up doing. And so, let's see, which one do I want to use? There was one here, I think. I love that one. That's so pretty. Maybe. Oh, I like that one too. Oh, and I love her. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I'm going to do her. She's so pretty. So, yeah, so our tradition was that we would get our own, everybody gets their own meal, okay? Whatever they decide they want. So that night on the way home, Courtney was like, well, why don't you and Maria and Devin stop and pick whatever you want? Because we don't have a huge selection here in Coolidge, right? And he's like, just get me tacos at Taco Bell. And I said, okay. So we decided to go to Sonic, and we got I got like some onion rings, and I think Devin got this really burger that looked just delicious, right? And then Maria got some mozzarella sticks for him and her to share, and just little things. And so, and I got a couple of their pretzels. I guess I'd never had them. Maria said they were good. Well, so then we go over right next door to Taco Bell. We get our Taco Bell. Went ahead and got stuff there. We got the box meal, each of us, the three of us did, and Courtney got tacos. Well, I get them home. I get my onion rings home, and they were a large, okay? The bag was the bag was this big. It was half empty. Okay, so there was only like 4 or 5, and they were burnt. I was so mad. I said, you know what? I'm going back. So I went back, and they made it right, and I came back home. We unpack all of our food because they didn't eat without me, of course, little sweethearts. Well, I get back home, and our Taco Bell order is like there's 2 or 3 items missing, okay? And then Courtney's tacos were flat as, I mean, they were like nothing in them. And all the food was, by now was getting cold, which we would have dealt with that, but there was missing items. So my daughter and I hopped in the car, and I'm like, we're going back. I'm going to take this back, and I'm going to make them either give me my money back or they could just make it right, So we get there, and they don't want to open the window because they're already closed. We were their last customer that night. So... So I told the girl that comes to the window, and she's like, I have no money. I have no food. It's Christmas Eve. I'm sorry. You'll have to come back in 2 days when we're open again. And I said, really? So I was like, fine. I'll be back on the day after Christmas. And she goes, okay. So I was very upset with her. I was very upset with them because, I know they were excited to go home and oops, I used the wrong one. I know they were excited to go home. It's Christmas Eve. But we were also, as the customers, excited to have our meal and, enjoy our time together. And we didn't expect to have to eat cold, soggy food and then have most of it. Oh, you know what? I don't like that color in there. I'm going to use the other one still. Cold, soggy food that was just, by now, Sonic was cold. Everything was cold. It was like, okay. So anyway, I didn't end up getting my money back, but the manager on Tuesday did redeem like half of it. He said, well, since you don't have any of the food to bring back, he goes, what do you want? And I said, well, he goes, how about if I just give you half? And I said, he goes, or do you want something? And I said, well, how about you give me 2 box meals fresh for me and my husband for today? And he's like, okay, that sounds good to me. And he ended up giving us some extra, so it was okay. But anyway, so that was Sunday night. We finally go to bed because, I haven't seen my daughter in a minute, so we're visiting until pretty late. I go to bed. I get up at probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I bet you guys are tired just listening to me talk about this. I'm tired telling the story. And so I got up, and my daughter got up about a half hour later or whatever, and I started making the meal because I knew I needed to go over to Joey's. I tried, I said, well, we'll eat kind of earlier than I might have normally. And plus, I had to take them back home, at a decent time because they had to work the next day and stuff like that. So, anyway, so I cook all day long, okay? I was on my feet the entire day. And my daughter was in there helping me, but, I'm mom and I'm cooking the meal. And so we ate around 1:30 and kicked back for maybe a half an hour or so. And then I got up and packed our boxes for them to take food home and stuff to take to Joey because he was feeling better. Well, I drive them all the way home. I opened Maria's present. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Devin forgot to bring her bag with her gifts in it. So I didn't show you guys. I don't think I showed you guys yet. But she got me this. It is a sticker printer. Isn't it cute? And you hook it to your computer. I can even print out my own creations, but it's not color. It is black and white. And she ordered me a new roll of the paper because they only sent this little sample. And she's like, no, I requested it. It was on her receipt. So when I get that, maybe we'll play with this a little bit. So anyway, so I got my gift and I headed over to Joey's, and I got over to Joey's and spent like an hour and a half with him, right? And it was wonderful. He opened his gifts. But here's the bad part, you guys. I was so tired. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I was beat, and I forgot to pack him any turkey. Pack him any turkey. And he's like, where's my turkey? I was almost in tears. I said, let me run over to your sister's. I gave her some, and you can have some of hers. And he's like, no, Mom, it's okay. I'm loving the potatoes and the dressing and the mac and cheese and all that. So, yeah, so I got home. I take off and I drive back home. Mind you, another 80-some miles back to my house. By the time I got home, it was about, 10:30, 11 o'clock. You guys, I was so tired the next day. I could barely move. That's when I sent out the message to y'all saying I'm going to take a few days because it was just 4 days of almost nonstop go. I am not used to that. I stay home. I'm a housewife and a crafter, and I'm always here unless I go to church. I don't go and do that, anymore. I used to, and I could probably get used to it again, but yeah, to just go and go and go like that, it's not my norm anymore. So I'm about to kill myself. So that's why we were crafting. Our first crafting video of the year is a week after the new year because Tara was just extremely worn out. Now this glue is looking like it's lifting right here on this side. I'm not sure if maybe I just didn't press it down. It's ripping now. Let me get this up here. Okay. Don't usually have a problem with this old vintage paper. Okay. So, I have made, and I'm going to stamp on the back of this one. I've only made 4 because I've been chit-chatting. But I think they're adorable little journal cards. I really like them a lot. Let's do a stamping on the back of this one. So that was my holiday, you guys. And it was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing, and I enjoyed and loved having my daughter and loved being with her. And she's my little chatterbox. Courtney, he goes, I will never think that you talk a lot ever again after being around Maria. Oh my goodness. I was laughing. I'm like, yes, she is a little chatterbox. She has always been my chatterbox. He was just cracking up. He goes, man, she loves to talk to you. I said, I know. And we haven't been together in so long, because they live so far and they don't have a vehicle. And yeah, and they're always working. And yeah, so anyway, but it was wonderful to be with her and enjoy her presence in my house. It was the first time she's ever been to this house. And so, yeah, it was nice. I've decided to do a trim on the edge on this one. I love this trim. These trims are so cool. I don't remember where I got them, but I do love them. And I think I'm just gonna kind of frame, yeah, like that. Okay, just like that. Oh, that even matches. Look at that. It met right up with it. I'm just doing a little edging. I don't want to do the whole thing. Although I probably could have, but yeah, I'm going to leave it. So here's my, let me show you real quick. This is my bin, plastic bin from the dollar store, and I took all of my stamps and put them in here because I had them all over the place and in drawers and everything else. And I decided to try and organize them so that I could just keep them down here next to me on like a stack of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop at 4. Like we've talked about, I have enough. I don't necessarily need to do more than that. And we're gonna decorate. Let me see here. So I am looking. I don't think I need to do a ton of stuff with these. The paper is really pretty, and I could do. I kind of have a hard time. I've told you this before, covering up my stuff. I'm like, I really like these pictures. I know it's silly. I've got so much stuff over here. Let me just straighten this a little bit before I jump into decorating because I won't have any room. Okay. I actually think I'm gonna sneeze, so let me pause. I couldn't sneeze. I tried, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm thinking what I want to do is possibly maybe do some trim. I've got this pink right here, and it's so pretty that Pam gave me, and I was thinking I could run some of that along the edge to go with that. Let's see. With the faces, you know, when it's like a face like this, I kind of feel like lace or ribbon and trim and stuff is the way to go. And then some verbiage alongside the pretty picture. You just get that to stay down. Okay. I have no idea how I cut my hand. If anybody's wondering about the cut, I don't know how I did it. It just was there. With those blood thinners, it takes just the littlest thing, and I have a bruise, or, you know, I've got a bruise right here on the back of my hand. I have no idea where it came from. Let's see. Okay, so here's my other stuff here. Thinking some bling might look pretty. Okay. So I think I caught you up. We didn't do anything for New Year's Eve. We went to church in the morning. And then we went to lunch like we usually do. We actually just went to our little favorite Lynn's buffet and had lunch. And then we went home. And so, yeah, I was starting to feel sick on Sunday. So by the time we got home from church, I was really starting to feel it. And, yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to lay down, which is what I did. Let's see here. I'm just looking in my little inspirational snippets here. Okay. This one, just find something that, here, I like this one. Saved by Grace. Praise God. I need to make my own kit, I'll be honest, because I have certain ones that I like. Like, I want to say certain things about a picture or the person in the picture, you know, and I'm thinking I need to make another kit. I have one in my shop that's words, but it's just like beautiful, memories, journal, those kind of words on a pretty pink background, a floral like pink and white background. Sorry about my nose. I'm so stuffed up. Anyway, I'm back. So, yeah, I'm thinking I need to make another kit with just, I don't know, stuff like prayer warrior and victory and, you know, words that describe a believer's walk with the Lord. These are hard to tear because I cut them too close to their edges of the words. But I like them torn. It's more fun that way. Okay. Now, where do we want to put this? Down here, up here, and a slant. And I think I'm going to do it right here. Saved by Grace. I think I'll just put that right in the center like that. Just a hint of it, you know? It doesn't have to be a big display of sparkle, but I love a little bit of bling. Let's try to center this. Oops. Of course. All right. That one. I feel like I need like a, I don't know, a butterfly or... I had a pretty little ribbon earlier that was from that kit. I'm trying to... Here it is. Let's put that on there. Why not? Just do a little bit of... It looks a little girly. I've been binging, I think I tell you this on Wednesday, but I've been binge watching Monk. I don't know why, but I have. And it's been a few years since I've seen the show. And so, yeah, I'm out of camera. I'm sorry. So I decided to just, since I'm having to lay on the couch and just, you know, kind of trying to hang out a little bit by myself because Courtney does not want to get this. And so he's, you know, he's working and stuff too. So, but, so I'm going to put one more little bling over here on that one. Just like a one piece here. And yeah, so I've been cracking up watching Monk. Because I call Courtney Monk. I don't know if I've told you guys that. He's very particular. And not to the point of Monk, but a little bit sometimes on certain things. And I'm like, you crack me up. And he married the least monkish person that he could have ever married. I mean, total opposite as far as that goes. I mean, I'm clean. I know how to clean my house, but I'm just, you know, I'm a crafter. Come on, I'm an artist. I mean, you know how we are. So there's that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed these fun little journal cards. And that you give them a try. They're super easy, fun way to use your book pages, your scraps. You know, you can use, like I said, you can use any kind of paper you want to make these. I'm going to have to probably use my Fabri-Tac to keep this down. It's not wanting to stay on that bumpy, lumpy. Look at that. It's coming right up. We're going to make it stay. We're going to make it stay. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you are not a member of the Terrace Take family, please consider subscribing to the channel and becoming a part of our family. And thank you for hanging out with me. If you're still here at the end of the video, I sure appreciate it. I had a lot of rambling to do today because I had to catch everybody up on what happened at Christmas time. But yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and come hang out with me some more. And we just kind of kick back and craft here. We're not fancy. I don't do a lot of editing. I just love to craft, and I love to hang out with y'all when I do it. And so that's what we do. I do know that we are going to do some decorating on ephemera here real soon because I have got a ton and I need to deal with it. So I love you guys. Happy New Year. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Wednesday in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.